first of all, you need to get a client base. Then you need to retain a client base. If you're only in it for one reason and you can't give that service, you're not going to have a viable business. You may on the get-go, long term you won't, because there's someone else out there that will 100% retain that client because they care about the full cycle of it, not just the money aspect or I don't know, just the way it can be perceived. And I really wish we could take that away from the industry, because I just think that's where the bad bit of it comes, but then I also do think that won't last long term, but it's just a shame that the clients that have that impact.
Hi guys, it's Holly here at Faces. Welcome back to the Face It podcast. Today I'm here with the gorgeous Tasha from Tingles Aesthetics. Tasha, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. It's really, really good to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're more than welcome. So just to kick things off, do you want to just give us a little bit of insight into how you got into the aesthetics and PMU world, where it all started and how you built your business to where it is today?
Absolutely. So I always had a passion for going into the industry. And I'll be very honest, I didn't realise you could come into the industry as a non-medic. So as soon as I knew that, I was like, I need to get into this because I just didn't think it was possible.
Yes, do you know what? So many people I speak to say exactly the same thing. I don't know why, it was almost like there was this kind of cloud over the industry. No one actually said non-medical professionals cannot do it. I mean, obviously some medical professionals.
I know. Yeah.
But it's just something you presume, isn't it?
Yeah. I just thought, oh my God, I need to be a doctor. I need to do this. I need to do something else to get there. So my background, so I was actually in the corporate world within recruitment for about 9 years. I would be lying if I said I loved it, because I absolutely didn't. It's hard work, absolutely hard work.
Recruitment, I fully get you with that one.
Oh my God, literally kills your soul. I mean, I loved it. I absolutely loved it at points, but I absolutely hated it at points as well. It's hard work, but then as soon as I realised that I could go into the industry as a non-medic, I literally jumped to the chance. So I actually trained with Empire Academy in Cheshire. I cannot rate them enough. My goal was actually always to do the permanent makeup before aesthetics, but I ended up actually following the other part first of all. Loved it, absolutely loved it. And yeah, so I was doing that alongside my corporate job. So I would literally I looked after the London market at that point. So I would come home and I'd work from about 7 p.m. at night till 10 p.m. every single evening, without a doubt. And then I would do every single weekend. And I just got to the point and I was like, what am I doing? I can do this full time. But it was so scary to come away from my full-time job and be like, oh my God, I've got this job security. I'm earning this money. I've got all of this on top of me. Like, when do I step away? And I literally just thought one day, I'm ready to do it. And it was actually on New Year's Day. It was New Year's Day and my boss.
Fresh start, all of that.
Yeah. Literally, I think my dogs had woke me up at about 4 o'clock in the morning. Don't know why, they never do that. And I was downstairs on my own and my partner was in bed still. And he come down and I was like, I've handed my notice in. He's like, what? I was like, I'm going full time. I'm going to do this full time. But I just knew I would do well. I kept telling myself, without being arrogant, but I was like, I will succeed. I can do this full time. It's going to be brilliant. I love what I do. And I just loved it. Like, I just felt a certain passion that I just didn't get from anything else. And I literally just followed my heart. I cannot stress that enough. Like, if you know it's right for you and you know it's going to work, then you need to go for it. Or I would have been stuck in that job for years and years.
100%.
So, yes. And here I am now.
Well, first of all, congratulations on where you've got to, because that is just such an inspiring story. I think, you know, some people, like you say, making that jump or making that decision is like, you know, so difficult, because you think, oh my God, like, what if it doesn't work out? Like, what if I've made the wrong choice? But I think, like you say, sometimes you just know, like, you're like, I'm a strong believer in that like gut feel, and your body sometimes knows before your head does, doesn't it?
100%. Like, I'm all about feels. I never forget when I was working, and I get this still now, and I would like do a set of lips, and like I would literally cry after, because I'm so happy and content. And I was like, coming to my partner, I'm like, I just love what I do. And then I'll be like, now I've got to go and do recruitment tomorrow morning. Like,
Oh,
I'm just not made for that. And I just knew it was right for me. Also, I need to touch upon Alicia Bradley's Beauty Growth Academy. Do you know of her?
yes, yeah, I do.
My savior. Honestly, I signed up with her the minute that I qualified within aesthetics, and the best thing I ever done. Like, the best thing I ever done. And just going into all of that mindset, that coaching, being able to support others. I went to her live events, and being there, like, I would just get a feel for it. And I was like, I'm made for this. I'm gonna do it. And I want to then help others. Obviously, that come later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just knew it was right. And honestly, I've never looked back. The best thing I've ever done. It's hard.
Oh,
I'm not saying it's not hard. It's a
yeah,
lot of hours I put in to get to where I am. I've trained and trained and trained continuously, and I still train now, and I always will do. But it's so much hard work. But I'm just so happy. So it speaks volumes, and it's worth it. It's worth the headaches.
oh, 100%. And the thing is, coming from a recruitment background, you're not shy of hard work. You know what hard work is, having worked,
Oh
especially doing the
yeah.
London market. I can't even imagine that. Jeez.
Oh, don't.
But
Pain
yeah,
in the
I bet,
ass.
like, at points, what you do now feels like an absolute breeze, especially now, you built your business, you can work when you want to, like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's that flexibility. But yeah, I think you're kind of proof that, when you are committed and you want something to work, you really, really can make that happen. Finishing your
yeah,
job and then going and having to work on your business every single day until 10 p.m, potentially even later.
yeah,
You know, you have to be a certain type of person to do that.
yeah.
I think whilst your kind of story sounds maybe to some people like, oh, like she just quit and then all worked out, it really isn't like that, is it? It's like
No. Oh my God.
hard work
No.
and
And I
commitment.
don't lie about that at all, like, ever. Like, I've put in so many hours to get the business off the ground, and doing so much behind the scenes. Like, even when we say, oh, you can work your own hours, I don't agree with that at all. I think running your own business, I work every single hour now. Like, there's not a day where I'm not working or doing something. Even today, I don't work Mondays in clinic.
Yeah,
But I've already helped my students today. I've been in contact with my clients. You've got your social media. Like, this is a 24/7 job,
yeah,
but I live and breathe it. So I'm okay with that. And I do think that's the difference that people don't talk about, that when you run your own business and you go into this, it's hard. Like, you don't stop how you may have been able to at 5 o'clock. You can finish from a job and you're done. Like, you're a duty of care to your clients 24/7. So it comes with its pros and its cons, but I definitely think the pros weigh out the cons. So I'm fine with it.
amazing. Just, do you know what? I've just thought of a question I'm going to ask you now
Go
before we
on.
the academy side of things. I've never asked anyone this question,
Oh,
but
okay.
be brutally honest. When
Yeah.
you are, oh my God, it's 11:11, make a wish.
Love that. Good vibes.
um, when you are training students, and
Yeah.
this is like a brutally honest question, no shade on anyone, like, but do you ever get a student or some students that you trained and you just kind of know, you think, they're not right for this industry, they're not gonna, not that they're not gonna succeed, but do you know what I'm trying to say? Do you ever get that kind of
And
vibe?
you're like in it for the wrong reasons.
Yes, that's what.
Yes.
Okay.
So the training that I do, I've only recently started, which I haven't yet, but will be training students from the get-go.
Yeah,
I train students that are already qualified, so they will come to me as a confidence booster, a masterclass. So I think I'm quite lucky that the students that I've had have already invested money and time in themselves. So when they come to me, that's more money to invest. And I think you wouldn't go and invest even more money if you didn't want to do well for yourself. And I think, touch wood, I'm very fortunate with the students I've had. But I do have clients that I have this honest conversation with them anyway, so I don't mind even saying this. So they're like, oh, I'd love to get into this, I'd love to do this, I'd love to do that. And then they'll start saying why they want to do it. And I'm like, what about your client? I'm like, you're forgetting the main point of the job. Like, we're here to do our job for our clients. Clients comes first. And then I say to them, I'm like, this is hard. First of all, you need to get a client base. Then you need to retain a client base. If you're only in it for one reason and you can't give that service, you're not going to have a viable business. You may on the get-go, long term, you won't, because there's someone else out there that will 100% retain that client because they care about the full cycle of it, not just the money aspect or I don't know, just the way it can be perceived. And I really wish we could take that away from the industry, because I just think that's where the bad bit of it comes, which but then I also do think that won't last long term. But it's just a shame that the clients that have that impact from the get-go. But yes, I see that with some people wanting to come to it. Fortunately, with my clients, no, my students, I've not had that yet.
We'll see. But I think a lot of that with the industry comes from the marketing that some training academies put out there. It's like Instagram, okay? Burj background, pink Bentley. This could be you. £10,000 in your first month. Just do this like £1,000 course.
That gets my back up. And also, what I hate about that is I trained in this. Like, it cost me a fortune, an absolute fortune to train to get to where I am today. And I'm still training and spending a fortune now. These people are borrowing money. They're getting in debt. They're using their savings, that they're probably putting this before the house because they think, oh my God, I can go into this industry and that will get me to my house quicker or whatever. This is hard-earned money to be sold a dream it's not true. And I just think, like, who the hell can go into one job and straight away just earn 10 grand? Could you imagine?
I mean, wouldn't be sat here right now. We'd all be aesthetics practitioners, all of us. Like, and we'd all be minted. We'd just have to do like ourselves because there'd be no clients.
Be like, that's it. We've made it in life. 10 grand all the time. No, absolutely not. And I just wish that would stop. Like, I really wish that would stop. But I do think, I'm like, maybe they've got like, they might be doing that, but they've got some sugar daddy behind them. Like, someone is funding that lifestyle. That's not coming from their pocket.
100%. But you know, I think with that as well, the types of students, for example, who want to book onto that course, they're not the kind of students that you would want to necessarily train.
No. And I won't just train anybody because they want to train with me. Like, I was even approached by someone the other day that wants to train, and I just don't think they're ready I just don't think it's right. And I will always be honest with that, because I don't want to be perceived as the name that trains someone for them to not have the right ethics, because I'm a very ethical person in every single way possible. So it just doesn't sit well. And I don't need to put my time into that. And it's a lot of time that as a trainer, you put in as well, and I value my own time, so I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Another reason why, you know, it's just, again, reiterating that you're in the industry for the right reasons, whereas
absolutely.
Like, come on in, like, you know, don't even care if you're ready or not, like, we'll just train you, like, that's cool.
No,
just here's your certificate. You've injected half a lip, but there you go. Like,
no
that within this industry, which is crazy.
I've even had my student before, like, she come in for training and we were 2 models down. So then I said to her, I was like, I don't, why did they just do that? What? What?
Wait, is it your birthday?
No, it's absolutely not. What did I say?
Wait, are you on your phone? On your iPad?
Yeah.
That's so weird. Do you reckon did someone send you a text and they did it with the balloons?
No, I've put on do not disturb as well, so my phone doesn't keep going. That's so weird.
That's so weird.
I don't even think we can edit that out. Oh God, sorry about that.
Keep it in. That's funny. Anyway,
that's so weird.
What were you saying, lovely? Go on.
Yeah, sorry. So we were 2 students down, which would have been her models for the day. And one of them, when they come in, which we do check everything before, but fortunately one of them needed dissolve and we couldn't fill her lips. So my student, I wouldn't pass on a date because I said, you're not you've not done enough for me to be able to say, yeah, off you go on this new masterclass, because it just wouldn't be right. So I had to get her back in again. Obviously, she didn't pay anything. That's not her fault. Come back in again, and we got more models in. Like, just because you paid for a course, it doesn't mean you're leaving with a certificate.
Oh my God.
It's okay, like, to not pass that day. But then I can look at myself and be like, is it my fault? Is it my fault why she can't pass? But that's out my hands. Like, we didn't have enough models. Someone needed dissolving. You can't pass on 2 lips. Like, it's just not possible for a masterclass.
Yeah, I
So,
wish more academies and more trainers had that mentality, because the thing is, I think almost the CPD certificate situation, I know obviously those are the qualifications that we currently have, and
yeah,
that acceptable to pass for treatments. But I feel like people kind of forget that you have to pass, and academies forget that as well. It's almost
yeah,
like, okay, I've paid £1 for this course, and I know I'm going to get my certificate at the end of the day.
yeah. Like, no.
Yeah. Whereas, yeah, because a lot of academies, they failing people wouldn't even be like in their heads.
Yeah,
It'd just be like, if you've got models, you've got them. If you don't, you don't. Here's your certificate.
absolutely not. I
And
hope it's not like that. I don't know it's happened like that, and I hope it's not. But if that was me as a student, I'd be like, oh my God, you're going to let me go and do that on my own? Like, I barely had any practice. That's scary.
but then there's people who are maybe overconfident who are like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
Really, those who are just coming in to the
yeah,
academy, not really caring about their clients. So
yeah,
it's
that's very true.
we've
Yeah,
opened
it goes
a whole can
hands
of
in.
worms here, which is wild. But anyway, back
Yeah.
to your business. So at what point did you think, do you know what? I would really love to do training, and I want to teach people and show them what I can do to help their business.
Do I be honest?
Yes, be honest. No
Oh,
lies allowed on the face of
no holding back. And I'm vocal about this, but not in this way, but it is what it is. It's my story. I'm going to tell it. Um, one of my clients trained elsewhere and was taught to use unlicensed Botox, and was taught to do a lot of other unethical things. But my client, I'm very close to my client. I didn't offer training at this point. I literally sat and cried with her because she had just spent £6,000 on training.
Sorry,
To
six
be
grand.
£6,000 on training. £6,000 of her saved money to train, to be taught to use unlicensed products. And my heart sank. So she shouldn't be doing it. She knows that she shouldn't be working. She still to this day hasn't taken off of her business, as she shouldn't. And from that, I thought, oh my God, I would love to help people. If this is happening and I'm just hearing this one story, I would love to help people, because I can't do that free of charge. Like, I can sit and talk to her and stuff, but I also need to realize that you can't do that free of charge for everyone all the time.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, this is happening in Milton Keynes on my doorstep, where God knows who else is doing this. Think of all the clients, think of the students going through this. And I thought, I want to do a confidence booster masterclass. That's the initial thing I wanted to do, where we could then go through the training of what they've learned, whether maybe they feel they're not up to standards, or they're just not confident enough. Maybe they didn't have enough models. Maybe they had to share a lip between 4 people to
Oh my God.
pass. And
Also, the
I
poor
want,
model, by the way.
like,
Like,
I thought, oh
literally,
my God.
I feel like I'm
I
having inspiration.
know,
Sorry,
but
go on.
honestly, when you think of it, like, how sad. Like, imagine your money and learning that. And honestly, I take my hat off to Empire. I cannot rate them enough. I loved my training there. I was with the owner when I had my training. It was phenomenal. And I'm so grateful for the training I did have. As a beginner that knew nothing about what I was doing, I'm really grateful. And I thought, if I can help other people and then give them that confidence to be able to know that I'm then a support network to them as well, I'm going to freaking do it. And
Yeah.
I've done that. And that's what I am to my students. I support them. Like, they message me today, like, even stuff they've not trained with me for, and I will help them. I will do what I can. And it's so refreshing to then get the message and be like, oh my God, Tash, like, before I would have freaked doing this, and now I feel confident. And I'm like, that just warms my heart, because I love sharing information. I love talking to people. And I'm like, I get to help them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my passion behind it.
It's a bit of a bittersweet one, isn't it? Because it's, I mean, you could
Yeah,
have gone into training without that turning point happening of the client doing their
yeah,
training with that academy. Are you allowed to say which academy it is?
absolutely would not. No shade here. I wouldn't do that. It's very unethical, but I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. What I was gonna say was my train of thought's gone now. Do you, again, a bit of like a curveball question maybe? Do you
Yeah,
think some of that, some like obviously training academies all over the shop are doing using unlicensed products, you know, it's factual, we know that,
yeah.
and maybe not running as ethically as they should. Do you think some of that fault comes down to the student not doing their research correctly as well?
I mean, if I picked up a product and it had Korean writing on it for Botox, I think I would know. Well, I would know that's not correct. I shouldn't be using that.
Yeah,
We all know, and if you're going into this industry, you should know that it's a prescription item. So I do think that, I mean, I do think that if someone is doing that, you know it's wrong. Like, you know, you need a prescription. You know that that needs to sit with the product you should be using. So I can't see how you could use an unlicensed product and not know what you're doing is not right. Also, when you're doing your training, we're taught that there's only 3 brands that you could use, or
yeah,
there's 4, isn't there
yeah.
now? Like, you know that. So you know what, there's now 4 brands. When I trained, there was the 3 brands. I'm so sorry, that's my dog's barking in the
That's
background.
fine,
If you
lovely,
can
don't
hear
worry.
that. I should have wanted 4. Um, yeah, there's 4 brands. So you know that. So I feel like during your training process that we're taught what toxins to use, what suits and why.
Yeah,
So I do think that it's negligent. Where it's, you should know that. But obviously, I say that easy because I do know that. Should we know that from the get-go? It's hard to know. You're teaching
yeah,
someone from start. Do
yeah,
they know to go out and research more? It depends what person you are. Like, I researched the life out of everything.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that doesn't mean that one size fits all. It's the
I know,
trainer's fault.
I know what you're saying, 100%.
Yeah,
Personally, like me, I know this that information that you just said. I'm not a
yeah,
practitioner, but then putting myself in someone's shoes who knows
yeah,
nothing or very little about the
yeah,
industry, would I be researching what products I don't know. I'll never know. I'll
exactly.
never
But
know.
some people don't research, so we
Yeah,
can't. It is down to the trainer. As a trainer, I do think that, because if you think about it, at the end of the day, you're going into this world that you know nothing about. You're there to learn from someone that you've invested your money in. You're going to believe what your trainer's saying, right?
100%. 100%.
So
But it's,
it's,
you know what? I've spoken to so many practitioners having worked at Faces, because obviously we're kind of like the hub of the industry, I guess.
yes.
This is one girl, and I'll never forget. I was on the phone to her, just talking to her about how to like use the Faces app, how to create a prescription. And she was like, what do you mean I need a prescription? I was like, you need a prescription if you want to buy anti-wrinkle products. And then same thing. She said, "Oh, we were told to use XYZ brand," and I was like, "No, no, 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 no. That's not licensed here in the UK, so you cannot use that product." And
Oh,
she had just, like you say, her trainer had said, "Use this product." Probably said,
yeah,
"Get it from me if you want." I don't know.
yeah.
She had no clue what she
This
was
is what I mean. Yeah.
like, what?
And you just think, oh my God, like, imagine if you've just done all of that training and then you're taught that. It's like us going into any kind of industry thing. Like, imagine, I'm trying to use something as an example, but there's a quicker route to getting something done. And you learn that with time as time goes by. It's like little things like when you first learn lips, you always aspirate. As you get more skilled, the chances of you aspirating, you're not going to do it. So then they might just think, oh, maybe this is just a different way that we just get Botox. Like, maybe this is really what everyone does and we just
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
And but obviously, how are they meant to know if they, how are you meant to know that unless you're taught that? And if your trainer is telling you this in black and white on your training day, you're not going to sit there and be like, you're a liar, you're
yeah,
a fraud, because you
yeah,
wouldn't think that, would you, on your training
yeah,
day? You
yeah.
just wouldn't think that. But
And
I
you know
don't, I
what? actually, I'm just thinking, before I got into the industry for work, I
Yeah.
I used to go to a dentist for my treatment. So obviously he was a prescriber. But I don't think, just thinking back, when I used to get my Botox done, I don't think it was sort of clear to me that it was a prescription. I don't know if it's
Yeah. I
he was
don't
a
know.
prescriber or what, but yeah, I don't think I did have the knowledge. But then again, if I was going into the industry to work to train in it,
Hmm.
would I do the research? I don't know.
But we would, and we do, because you're interested, aren't you? And you've got
Yeah,
all of that pre-study as well. There's a lot of pre-study you do.
yeah,
Even when you're getting your answers, you start Googling, and then I'm like, oh, I want to know this. And then you'll be like toxins. It would come up, right?
yeah,
Because you're doing your research. When would you go to? It's like taking a theory test, but not doing any like revision at home. You would
yeah. That's
revise, and you
true.
revise the internet, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
suppose there should be some there, but again, we can't expect everyone to think the same as we do, which is
yeah,
why trainers need to be very clear on what they're doing, because it's their duty to their student.
yeah. But sorry,
Uh,
I feel like we're having more of an industry chat rather than about your business. But it's
yes, sorry.
like, I think it's no, but I think it's
Yeah.
good to, to talk about these things. But then I'm like, makes me think, right, so these training academies, they have balls, right? To be saying, guys, use this, this is where you get it from. Like, do they know the consequences? Do they know how severe
I
that is
know.
for people?
It's really
Like,
bad, isn't it?
maybe they were taught to use that and they just think that's correct. No, surely
God,
not.
no.
In their because in their manuals have to get signed off by the insurance.
Right, exactly. And this is what I was just thinking. So obviously I do training. I create every single manual myself. Then I have to get that signed off with accreditation, which
Yeah,
gets checked by the company to
yeah,
make sure that you're going to be accredited to be able to do that. So you're not going to send over something saying, here we go, use this product. It's not legit. That wouldn't get certified. It wouldn't be a certified course. And they're the manuals that you give to your students. I mean, I tweak my manuals every so often to
yeah,
add like
yeah.
little bits, or I don't like the way that something's done. But you're not going to change your whole thing, and you wouldn't put illegal products in there, would you? So
It must be.
yeah,
Do you know what? Anyone who's been on training with an academy and they've told you to use products that you shouldn't be or whatever, please let us know what the
yes,
situation was. I'm genuinely
yeah,
interested.
I'm keen to know as well.
Is it more of a, this is what you should use, but this is cheaper? Like it's exactly the same.
Yeah,
Is it more of like a kind of like a sort of
yeah. How's it sold to you? So my client, when she went to do her training, I said to her, I was like, how do you know that she's using not the right thing? She said, well, what she showed her the product she was using, and she would make it up into each syringe before the client come into the room. So the client would never see them like withdrawing from the vial or anything. So it was always pre-made and in syringes ready when they'll come in. I'm like, that's so calculated. That is so calculated.
but also the students are then not even able to practice doing what they need to do.
Exactly. How do you know what to do? You don't. And then
Yeah,
that fear factor of going out into the world. And then again, this leads me back to my key point is it's always our clients. Our clients work hard to pay for their treatments to
yeah,
then be given some shoddy stuff. Like it's just so unethical. But that is how I got into training, and that was my reason behind it, to try and help others and
yeah,
try and set it straight to help them where maybe they feel there's areas that it's just not right. But
yeah,
yeah, I'd be very keen to know that as well, what other
yeah.
situations
Let us know,
have
guys.
been.
I'm sure there's plenty of people out there.
Yeah.
Obviously at the moment you're doing your confidence building and your master classes.
Yeah.
When are you going to be opening your diary up to new students who have never trained?
So I've got some very exciting news. When
Well,
does this go live, by the way?
I'm going to push it for like 2 weeks.
Perfect. Okay, so I've got some very exciting news to share that I've not announced. I now have my own salon. So
Amazing.
I'm so excited.
Congratulations.
So it's all come from nowhere. So I'm currently in a beautiful salon called Blush Salon in Newport Pagnell, Milton Keynes. So I rent 2 of the rooms there. And in Newport Pagnell, there's a salon, well, shop that's available, and I have signed the deed on it. It literally come up about 4 weeks ago, maybe about 4 weeks ago. And yeah, so we've literally just signed everything, but I've not announced it to anyone yet. So as soon as I get in there, I want to get it all ready and looking nice before I announce it. Then I'm going to do the training from there because I just need to focus on getting this ready. And then it's going to have a specific area for the training academy. So yes, in the very near future. So December onwards, we'll be doing new students.
And so guys,
Yes.
if any of you are watching and you're looking to do training in the new year, obviously all of Tingles details will be below, so you can contact Tasha. If you are looking to do a masterclass or some confidence building sessions, again, details will be below, so you can contact her. I was going to ask you what sort of next feature for you, but you've kind of answered that question already.
I know.
Which is so
yeah, that's my next thing. And I'm so excited for it. So I'm wanting to grow a team out. So I'm going to be looking to have other people within the industry. Maybe someone's come and do aesthetics with me, but also maybe I would really like someone that's great with skincare. So that's the next moves for me. I want a really fun, ethical working environment.
Ethical.
And I really want it to be ethical all the way. Yes. And fun. I want it to be a fun working environment. So yeah, I'm going to be looking to grow out and bring more into the business and expand the team. So yes, I'm very, very excited for the future.
Amazing. Oh, I'm so happy for you, lovely. And also it ties into what you were saying before around, you know, the client experience, looking after your client, putting your client first. Same with members of staff, you know, and making that full experience so more, you know, I think you want to go above and beyond someone's expectations, don't you, in this industry?
Oh, always. I just love that. And absolutely, without a doubt, like that's kind of the whole ethos that I stand behind and how I want it to be. So yeah, no, it's nice that I can implement that into my own place as well now. So it's very exciting.
Amazing. So happy for you. And I cannot wait to come and visit. I'll come and visit you. And
oh my God, yes, please do.
Do a Faces Inside series or something.
Yes. Oh my God, you actually should.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. This is going to finish off now. It's about to cut off. Is there anything else you would like to cover, or shall I just tie it up?
Yeah, no, I'm really happy with everything. I've really loved speaking with you, and I think that's all good. So yeah, no, thank you.
All right, I'll just do a little goodbye. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast, lovely. Like I said, anyone who's interested in training, contact Tasha with the links that I put below. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I've loved speaking with you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it all.
No worries, lovely. All right, I'll speak to you soon. I'll drop you a message, okay?
Fab. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.